Hey everyone, wanted to come in today and show you a makeup tutorial that I'm doing neutrals, and this is the Maybelline color corrector that I use for the dark circles under my eye. It does help to conceal those dark circles. I used a little too much when I clicked the pen, but this is also my favorite foundation. It's by Becca. It's the Becca Full Coverage Matte Foundation, and the color is Coconut. This foundation is discontinued, which is a shame because this is like my favorite foundation. And I can find it sometimes on Amazon. This is a flat top foundation brush, a dense flat top foundation brush. I like using the brushes versus using a sponge because I can get better coverage using the brush. And I don't have to use as much foundation when I use the brush. So that's why I prefer using a brush to blend my foundation. So this is what I'm doing, and I also like to make sure that there's no line of demarcation. So I bring the foundation all the way to my ears and down my neck because you don't want to leave a line of demarcation. So this is, I'm using the eyebrow, this is going to be my eyebrow color. It's a dark brown eyebrow pencil. I normally use the NYX dark brown. I think this is absolute, but I put a link to the brow pencil I normally use. It's a dark brown by NYX, and I'm just filling in my brow so that I can have a more dense looking brow. And that's the purpose of using the pencil, just to fill in some spots and to make that brow stand out a little bit more, because that brow is what frames the face. So you want to make sure that you clean up your brow and always use a spoolie to kind of blend that color into your natural eyebrow hairs. So now I'm going to highlight under my brow, and my favorite highlighter to do this with is the MAC Studio Fix. I've been using this, guys. I think I've been using the Studio Fix MAC foundation for 20 plus years. I love it. It gives me a great base to apply my eyeshadow, and it makes the base nice and smooth. And it looks heavier than what it is. You don't have to use a lot, and that's why I like it, because it gives full coverage to the eyelid. So if you have any discolorization to your eyelid, that's a great concealer to use. And I also set my concealer with I didn't show it here, but I set my concealer with the Patrick Star One Size translucent powder. Okay, so this is the Huda brown palette. And I believe I'm going to leave a link to this palette, or a palette that's very similar, through my Amazon link. But I like using this because it's not too intense, it's subtle, but it's dramatic, if that makes any sense. So I'm starting off with my crease color, which I always try to blow out and blend out into my transition and crease. So that's what I'm doing here, and I like to use a color that's, that's a nice skin tone, maybe a little darker than my skin tone there. So I'm going into the next color, which is a little bit darker than that, and I like to build colors, so that's what I'm doing here. So all I did was go like one step down from where I started. So if you see the way that I'm blending, I'm just blending a darker color on top of, a little bit further down, but on top of that existing brown. And this is how I build my colors, okay? And you want to use a soft hand. Don't use your brush and put a lot of pressure on it, because if you do, you're going to make it too intense. So now I'm going in with the lid color, and this is a shimmering brown. And yeah, it's a shimmer brown. It's almost like a copper color. It's really pretty in person. It gives some drama without being too dramatic, but it does give that subtle drama, which I really like. So now I'm just going back into that darker brown and just patting it over top of the outer portion of that eyelid, just so everything can blend together. So as you can see, I only use 3 colors. So now I'm actually using one of my favorite liquid liners. This is by L'Oreal. This is L'Oreal's liquid eyeliner. And this is, you can find it in your local drugstore. I also left a link below. This liner is awesome. It's been one of my favorites since I started using it. And I am bringing that liner out a little bit because I love a winged liner. It's like I can't stop winging out my liner. This is my favorite eyelash glue. It is by Eye Envy. It is the super strong eyelash glue. The reason why I like this glue is because it stays all day. Once I apply it to my lashes, I let it dry down some before I actually apply the lashes. So I'm moving on to something else. But that's my favorite eyelash glue. This is also a really good mascara. It's by Essence. This is something that you can probably find in your local beauty supply store. Also sells Essence products. Now they even sell it in CVS. This is also another one of my favorites that's locally sold at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. It is Maybelline's 24-hour concealer. And ladies, if you are of a certain age and you have issues with dark circles under your eye, this is a great concealer. It really is. I love the little applicator because you can get into those little fine areas with that applicator, and it gives great coverage. Now the trick is use a brush. Use a brush. I know a lot of young people love using the beauty blender, which I still use the beauty blender, but because I'm getting older, sometimes certain areas need a little more coverage. So that's why I pull out my brushes, because the brushes help to give a little more coverage than that beauty blender. But the beauty blender is good for blending the colors. Now here is my favorite. This is actually not a bronzer. This is actually a foundation. But I use it as a bronzer because the color is gorgeous. I mean, it's subtle, it's natural looking, and it gives me that bronze look that I need for my face when I feel like my face is just too flat with that one color. And that's what I'm showing. I'm showing how it brings the color back in my face. I love it. This is the Patrick Star, I think it's Turn Up the Base foundation in Golden Deep 4, I think it is. Deep 4G. And now I'm going into that same palette, that same foundation, and I'm gonna add some more color back to my nose because I think my nose looks flat with just that one foundation color. The trick to makeup is understanding shadows and understanding that the face, if you look at your face is not one color. There are certain areas of the face that are darker, certain areas of the face that are lighter. So if you just put on one foundation color, guys, it gives the face a very flat look. So you want to add a little color back into your face, a little more warmth back into your face. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to change the shape of my nose. My nose is the shape of my nose. This actually just adds that color back into my face, and I'm adding that color back onto my nose as well. So that's what I'm doing here. And like I said, this color is so subtle, but it gives me that warmth back in my face that I need. So now I'm just adding a little highlighter, and this is the Fenty Beauty highlighter. I can't remember what color this is, but I've had it for a long time, and I just use my fingers for that. And now I am going to probably move. Oh, this is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. And the reason why I use the setting spray, guys, is because now you want to marry all of those different foundations and powders. You want them to all blend together seamlessly. And what's going to happen is when you spray that spray, that's what it does. So now I am going on to the lips. This is the NYX Lip Liner in Espresso. One of my favorites. It's very subtle, and it just gives my lips like what I've done with the face. I've added that color back into my face. I wanted to add some dimension and color into my lips. So that's why I use the brown lip liner. And now I'm just going in with the Kylie Jenner's Lip Plumping Gloss. And it's like a neutral brown color. And the links for this stuff will be in the description box. So the face is complete, guys. I hope you like it. Now I'm going to move on to the hair. All right, so this is actually a wig that I made, guys. I made this. This is a wig. So I am using, I didn't feel like pulling out the curling iron, so I decided to pull out my styling brush. And I really like this brush. If you are one of those ladies who don't, you can't use the flat irons very well, and you can't really, you don't really feel like using curling irons, this is a great option because it will straighten out your hair, and it will also put a little bend and curl to your hair as well without a lot of effort. So as you can see, I'm getting a nice bend to my hair by just using the brush only. And I'm just taking that hair and I'm just twisting it around that brush just to give that little bend. See that? Easy. And it's quick, and the brush gets really hot, so it will definitely straighten your hair. So I've started using this brush a lot because it's just so easy versus pulling out the flat irons or pulling out the curling irons. And it also keeps the hair, it gives the hair some body, so that's what I like as well. So I hope you like this tutorial, guys. I just wanted to show you really quickly how you can do this quick look. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.